Hello there, how are you? Lyrin Haddock here with another edition of Worth the Buy here on Bearded Budget Media. This is a slightly special in memoriam version of Worth the Buy following the unfortunate passing of the fantastic actor that was Val Kilmer. So this week we're diving into his generally most forgotten first feature film with him leading. So let's know a little German, go to a ballet and do some skeet surfing, and let's dive into Top Secret. Okay, so let's start with the elephant in the room. The untimely passing of this film's lead, Val Kilmer. The dude was one of the greats. Whether it was this, his debut film role, or others like Heat, Top Gun, Tombstone, and let's not forget Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I nearly switched last week's film to this, but I didn't feel like I had enough time to do the film and Val Kilmer justice, so here we are. Val Kilmer, I salute you. Top Secret follows American rock and roll star Nick Rivers, based on Elvis Presley if you couldn't tell, who is sent to play at an East Berlin culture festival but is roped into the plans of the local resistance to rescue the scientist father of one of their members. As stated by David Zucker, one of the creators later, it didn't really have a plot or real characters or structure. Whilst I may agree a bit on the plot statement, but definitely less so on the character statement. This film is a great mixture of spoof. It covers your Elvis Presley musical-style films, World War II resistance-style films, and also the Cold War spy era. With it being made by the infamous Zucker-Abrams Zucker, Zaz, and their lack of involvement in Airplane 2, it's been said that that was one of the reasons the film didn't do well at the box office. But it was critically quite highly rated and fans adore this cult classic. For some reason, it fell by the wayside. A few years back, we had a friend of ours around who's an editor for a well-known BBC drama, and he'd never seen it and spent the entire time in absolute stitches at it. It truly is an underrated gem. So the cast in Top Secret are phenomenal. It's also not filled with cameos as per Airplane and some other spoof movies, but it works for that. Let's start with the legend that we've lost in Val Kilmer's Nick Rivers. As his first true role, and getting the lead at that, he was a find and a half for Zaz. The insane thing is that the play Kilmer was found in, The Slab Boys, that's not the big thing. The insane thing was that the play he was in had him acting alongside Kevin Bacon, Sean Penn, and Rorschach himself, Jackie Earle Haley. I mean, what a different world it could have been if they'd picked one of those others to be Nick Rivers instead. But that didn't happen, and they picked out a pearl, possibly a shinier and bigger pearl than that of the others. I mean, personally, the only one close to Val Kilmer is Kevin Bacon in that list for me. Sean Penn I can ignore quite happily, and Jackie Earle Haley is one of the greatest character actors of his generation. But Val Kilmer was born to be a star, and this as his first film just shows it all. His charisma, comedic timing, confidence, singing, and all-round acting ability are on show in force in this. You can see he was going to go on to great things. In fact, I'd even say he has the confidence of someone maybe in their second decade of their career.
Yeah, I'm telling you, baby, it ain't no backdoor match. You gotta straighten her up. Yeah, straighten it out.
Rest in peace, you legend.
I just want
Look,
to say that...
I'm not the first guy who fell in love with a girl he met in a restaurant who then turned out to be the daughter of a kidnapped scientist, only to lose her to a childhood lover who she'd last seen on a deserted island and who turned out 15 years later to be the leader of the French underground.
I know, it all sounds like some bad movie.
The love interest for Nick Rivers is Hilary Flamond, played by the beautiful and hilarious Lucy Gutteridge, who retired from acting in 1993 and is related to old Egyptian royalty.
Hillary.
Hillary? That's an unusual name.
It's a German name. It means she whose bosoms defy gravity.
Her father, the captured scientist Dr. Paul Flamond, played by everyone's favourite old man Alfred, Michael Gough. Does tickle me that years later, Gough and Kilmer would reunite as Batman and Alfred.
But then one night, the secret police broke into my house. They tore me from my family, ransacked my laboratory, and brought me to this dungeon.
That sucks.
The main villain being General Streck, played by British actor Jeremy Kemp, who was a regular on TV with everything from Z-Cars to The Greatest American Hero.
It is the hospital, mein General.
What is the condition of Sergeant Kruger? Yes, I see. Well, let me know if there's any change in his condition. He's dead.
Please like, comment, share and subscribe. It really means a lot to me and it helps the channel and helps spread the love for some underrated and oft-forgotten gems. Other characters making up this plethora of gold standard actors include Nigel the Torch, who is the leader of the Resistance and played with an oiled up delight by Christopher Villiers. Who co-founded 2020 Casting Limited, whose credits include Gladiator, Bridget Jones' Diary, Star Wars and United 93. Not bad, eh?
Forgive us, Mr. Rivers, if we have been less than hospitable. But recently we've had reason to believe that there is a traitor somewhere in the Resistance.
Agent Cedric, played by the late great legend that was Omar Sharif.
Do you know any good white basketball players?
There are no good white basketball players, my friend.
A minor role, but filled with big laughs, is the book proprietor for Peter Cushing. Adding some great actors in the Resistance. Duquois, played by Harry Ditson, who has appeared on British TV for the last 5 decades and was recently in Angel Has Fallen.
Well, Monsieur Rivers, it seems that you have become, how do you say, indispensable?
Indispensable.
Eddie Targo, the Ghanaian actor who went on to become the reflexologist for Newcastle United, the football club, as Chocolate Mousse. Sorry, Chocolate Mousse.
What the hell is this stuff?
Gasoline.
Let's not forget my favourite of the bunch, Deja Vu.
Have we not met before, monsieur?
Played amazingly well by Jim Carter, who has an amazing list of credits to his name, including his film before this being Flash Gordon, but a lot of people will know him as Mr. Carson from Downton Abbey.
You better watch that mean old rondo back to back.
The traitor in our midst.
Well done, Latrine. I see you have dealt with him appropriately.
Not the belt, you fool, listen.
Another surprise is Ian McNeice showing up as the blind souvenir salesman in only his 3rd feature film role.
Here, this is one of our most popular items.
It's very good. It's very good.
This is a film where there was clearly a love for the project from everyone involved. I mean, just the logistics of making some of the scenes, often for only a small gag that lasts a couple of seconds. It just isn't often included in cinema anymore. Well, it feels that way at least. I mean, filming an entire scene backwards, including the intricacies involved in the scene such as the books and Val Kilmer's smile during it, it's all just perfectly done. Add in the additional large set pieces involving trains, underwater fighting, desert islands, miniature models, and almost whole-size submarines. The production values are next level. The strange thing with this film is that although it made only approximately $20 million at the box office on a budget approximated to be about $9 million on the higher end, fans just seem to stay away from the cinema with it. Yet critically, it seemed to be rated a lot higher, especially considering the genre of movie it is. Once again, Roger Ebert surprised me with his review of 3.5 stars out of 4. But I think the biggest advert for this film is that the legend that is Weird Al Yankovic considers this his all-time favourite film, which is extremely high praise from the king of spoof. Speaking of Weird Al, the music within Top Secret is fantastic, whether it's a dramatic and fitting score a la World War II and spy movies, or the amazing Nick Rivers songs.
If everybody had a 12 gauge and a surfboard too, Well, get out on that floor and hit that rug tonight. Well, get out on that floor and hit that rug tonight. How silly can you get? Oh, yeah. How silly can you get? Ooh, yeah. I'll never ever get you straight. I wish you looked to be that way. When I was young and gave Perry, forget.
I mean, seriously, they're so catchy, and it's no surprise considering How Silly Can You Get was written by Phil Pickett. Now, you may not know the name, but you do know the song he co-wrote and recorded with Boy George and the Culture Club, Karma Chameleon. This is a film that I can watch again and again. I was a latecomer to finding this film, but since finding it, I've watched it countless times. I'd even consider this as a better spoof movie over Airplane. I mean, it's definitely top 5 spoof movies of all time. Maybe, I think there's 2, this and another that I'm not going to say yet that, vie for the top spot, but I mean, what's your 5? So there we have it, another worth the buy here on Bearded Budget Media. If you haven't seen this film, or even if you have, it's worth owning. Val Kilmer's performance is just superb, and you could see the star that he would become from watching this film. I've been Larry Haddock, catch you next time.
Those bikes!
Nick, I've tried everything. The embassy, the German government, the consulate. I even talked to the UN ambassador. It's no use. I just can't bring my wife to orgasm.